My husband and I got the COVID, and so it's been kind of an up and down, but now we're finally feeling better, and I'm back to training and doing classes again. So this is going to be my first one of the new year 2020, and I'm doing this one for my auntie Verna. This is a really great prop, and we've talked about this in some previous videos, for bringing yoga to people who have wrist injuries and back injuries and knee injuries and things where it makes it harder to get up and down off the floor, right? And too much pressure on wrists and just all of that. So this is a really great way to bring yoga and stretching and just movement in general to a different population. So we're going to start seated. The couple things that I just want to talk about right off the bat is alignment. So we just always want to make sure when we sit with purpose. We sit with postural awareness. Like we're not just kind of hanging out, right? We're not like cocking a foot or, okay, so we're really lining things up. Knees, shins, and ankles, okay? So we don't want to have our feet in, kind of hanging out there. No rounded backs. We want to feet under knees, lined up, posturally aware, stomach pulling in. All of that right there is already going to start to give you a sense of kind of getting some energy into those muscles. So we're going to start with a block. We're going to place that between our knees. If you don't have a block, it's not a big deal. You don't even need to use anything. You can use a ball. You could use a pillow or a cushion that just gives you a little bit of energy between the knees. But I always recommend blocks for all my yogis. We're just going to take an interlace of our fingers, turn our palms inside out, and stretch our arm bones long to the sky. Then sitting really tall using postural, we're going to inhale, look up toward our thumbs and pinkies. We're going to exhale chin to chest, but keep driving your arm bones long to the sky. Inhale to look up, and exhale chin to chest one more time to stretch. Then just go ahead and release those arms down. Maybe give them a shrug or a little circle. Then we're going to bring our right hand across our left knee. Our other hand, our left hand behind us, we're going to sit tall. We're going to use that in order to twist. So from the side, it looks like this. You just bring one hand back, one hand across. You sit really tall, and then you spin the axis of your spine. 3 to 4 breaths, switch sides. Bring one hand across the knee, one hand behind you, sit tall, inhale, exhale, ha, spin the axis of your spine. Take spinal twists, slow at first until you start to feel the core and the rib cage opening up a little bit. But twists are one of our #1 detoxifying postures. So another breath there, just again, sitting tall, planting in the feet, and then twisting. Then we're going to come back through neutral, and we're going to do 3 big arm circles in each direction. So really sweeping arm circles. It's going to warm up the rotator cuff, the shoulder, and the chest. So again, just 3 big arm circles. Then we're going to release the block because we don't need it right now. We're going to take our legs out wider, like a sumo style stance, okay? We're going to reach high like a good morning. We're going to exhale, reach to the floor. We're going to inhale, reach high. We're going to exhale, reach to the floor. So we're just getting a little bending at the waist movement, right? So we're stretching and compressing into the hips. We're stretching our lower backs, but there's no pressure here. No pressure on the knee, no pressure on wrists, no pressure on even like if you had a hip replacement, right? You can do this as a way to recover. So about 10 or 12 of those, just reaching down, reaching up, okay? Nice job, guys. Then you're going to bring your hands down to the floor, and you're just going to get heavy and let yourself hang down, including your head and your neck. So this is a wide-legged forward fold, and you're just leaning over and allowing the hips to stretch, the groin to stretch, right? But still, no pressure anywhere. The chair supports us. Then ragdoll roll rise to come up. Stay in that nice wide stance. This is called a shoulder drop. You're going to push your leg out slightly. You're going to rotate your shoulder head and your ribs down. And then you'll come back through center and you'll switch. You push your leg out gently external, and you rotate your shoulder internal and kind of down to the floor. You decide the pressure here. It can be little or no, and be careful if there are wrist injuries, maybe use more of a forearm, okay, rather than the wrist. Very little weight anywhere there. So now we've had this little warm-up, right? We're feeling a little bit better. We're going to start some little basic movement. Arms out to the side. Why? Because that's going to work our shoulders isometrically. If you have 2 water bottles, you can grab 2 water bottles here and hold them, and that's going to strengthen your arm bones, okay? So here we go. We're going to kick our heel back toward us, okay? And then we're going to extend it straight out. We're going to kick our heel behind and then straight out. This is called a leg extension. So you're going to feel this on the top of the thigh. Go with me. Inhale, and exhale. As high as you can keep it is going to recruit more muscles. You're going to do 10 to 12 repetitions. You see that I'm still sitting tall. I'm using my core. You're probably feeling the top of that thigh burning now. That's awesome. Again, 10 to 12. Nice, slow repetitions. Shoulders are out, everything working. Let's do one more. Big stretch, and then set it down. Really good, you guys. Same thing, second side. Kick the heel back, inhale. Exhale, extend long. Arms are out nice and long. Inhale. And exhale. Why breathing so important? Breath movement in yoga is all that it's about. It's about that union where we extend through using breath. We're oxygenating the muscles, but we're also bringing energy to our lungs and our heart. So all really important stuff, right? Really sitting tall, tummy muscles really drawing in, strong leg bone all the way, wrap muscle to bone as you extend your heel forward. A couple more times. Remember, 10 to 12 repetitions. Shoulders are probably burning now. You can always lower your arms if it's too much, okay? You can shrug them out a little bit. But that's where we want to start to bring heat and energy. Last one, breathe well, send it out. So 10 to 12 reps, and then exhale, surrender it down. So now we've got a nice little movement happening through the quadriceps, kind of felt it in the hip creases. We're going to do cross figure 4. So we're going to take our right ankle, and we're going to cross it over the left thigh, right near the knee. Now notice I kind of adjusted to get it there, but then I lined everything back up. So you don't want to have a knee cocking in or a foot coming in like that. Everything lined up. Then all I want you to do is lean forward. It might be enough just right here, and you're like, holy cow, Chris, this is a big stretch in that outer hip glute, even some hamstring and inner thigh. But the goal is just to hang down, okay? You can reach through the hole if that makes more sense to you. You can rest your forearms on your thigh and your knee, okay? You're going to take about 30 seconds to a minute, which is about the amount of time I'm talking because I talk a lot, as everybody knows, and that's just me. So we're stretching our hip, we're lengthening the muscle fibers around the big joint of the body, but we're also stretching our back, and we're still deep yoga breathing, okay? Just as if you were in a yoga class. Then you're going to let that come out, give it a little shake. It might feel like, whoo, that was intense. And then we go right into the second side. We'll cross the left ankle, kind of shin area across the right thigh. Readjust. Always nice to have a mirror if you can see yourself, or at least look in the video and see yourself. You want to have everything lined up. Knee, shin, ankle. Then once again, reach forward. One side might feel tighter than the other. It may be way more intense. It may sit higher up for you, and this is what it looks like. That's okay. Remember, you can rest, okay? You can reach, or you can just sit right here. If this is enough intensity, especially at the beginning, if you've been very sedentary or you have an injury, I want you to be really mindful of that. And just work towards a bigger expression of the stretch, okay? So again, 30 seconds to a minute each side. Always kind of coming out of it carefully, giving that leg a little shake, maybe twisting the knees side to side, okay? You guys are really good. We're gonna go ahead and stand on up. We're gonna take our chair and we're gonna place our hands on top of it with our feet behind. So this is a standing tabletop pose. You're gonna have gentle bend in the knees, shoulders over wrists, hips directly over heel bones. Now, for those of you with wrist injuries, more weight in your legs, less weight in the wrists, right? So we're gonna inhale, we're gonna bend the knees and look up. It's called a spinal extension or a cat-dog tilt. Then you're gonna exhale, round, tuck, and curl. Create a flexion in your spine. Bring your chin tighter to your chest. Inhale, extend, look up, soften the knees. Exhale, round, tuck, and curl, push away. We're going to do that 2 more times. Breath movement. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round, tuck, and curl. Push your tailbone under, round, and dome your shoulder blades away from each other. Last one here, inhale. Nice big open mouth exhale. Then come back to your flat back. Kind of do a little, I call it cat dog chasing tail. You just kind of look over each shoulder, wag your hip, make it feel good. Now, if you are able, you're going to plant your hands on your chair. You're going to step your feet back a little ways so that the majority of the weight is in the heel of my hand, okay? And you're gonna press back to what's called a modified down dog. Now this might be too much for you. There's also a variation where you can come down on your forearms. If it's about your wrist, you can put a pad on your chair, come down on your forearms, and step back for that same strengthening the upper body, stretching the lower body, softness in the knees, hips pushing back, chest towards my thighs. So again, hands can do this one. Okay, nice little press back. Most of the weight's in my legs. Take your time getting there, right? Step your feet forward so you don't have to bear all the weight in your upper body. Or down on forearms if you have some really serious wrist injuries, and then press back from there. Downward facing dog. And step back forward and round through the spine to stand up. You guys, really good. So one of the things that happens when we age is that our balance goes away and we become less sure on our feet. So we're going to take one hand, we're going to work on our balance a little bit, but we're still going to work on flexibility and mobility. So we're going to take our hand on our hip or out to the side. One hand is on our chair. And I gently want you to swing your leg forward and back. So once again, your hand can be on your hip, right? Or it can be out to the side for a little more balance. And you notice that I'm kind of dipping my chest forward a little bit. That's okay, right? I want to get a nice leg swing. I'm stretching and moving the femur within the hip socket for more mobility, right? The hips become our tightest joint usually. So we want to get some good momentum. So about 10 leg swings, okay? And then we're going to come, bring our hand and just pull our knee up, just as high as you can, right? Once again, try not to let the foot come across the midline. Keep your foot and your knee, even if you have to be way down here. You're still holding on for balance. You're strengthening this standing leg because all your weight is bearing on it. Your hand very gently on your chair, and you're just standing really tall. Maybe roll the ankle a couple of times here so that you get some mobility in the ankle and foot stabilizers. Then just set that down. Move to the opposite side of your chair. Your hand is on, and you're just going to swing that leg front, back, okay? About 10 times. Again, don't overthink if the chest drops. Don't overthink if like your hip is squared or not. Just move for right now. We're going to do a couple more chair videos before the month is out. Just want to give you guys that have these injuries options and ways to still work out and not give up on it. The body needs movement, it needs breath, it needs lubrication. Okay, so then we're going to stand. We've got our balance, our security. We're going to come like 2 inches below the knee, and we're just going to pull that leg up as much as you can or as little as you want, right? Standing tall, tummy still pulling in, maybe an ankle roll, just sort of holding on. Give yourself that stretch, that breath. Nicely done, and then lower it down. Okay, you guys, so good. So now the legs have started to move a little bit, right? So we're just going to do a really basic squat. I just want you to use your chair for balance. I want you to take that nice wide sumo style that we did earlier. And I just want you to sit back maybe 6 to 8 inches and then stand back up. Sit back like you're going to sit back into a chair, right? And then stand back up. You see that my toes are feather light. My weight is in my heels. That's very important so that the knees stay back. There's no pressure in our knees whatsoever. And we're just bending and straightening. When you stand up, squeeze your booty a little bit, right? So you get some energy into the pelvic floor, the booty muscles, the hips, and the quads. So just a really easy moving squat, maybe 10 to 15 times or maybe a minute, or while I'm talking and doing all this, it's enough for you. Just enough to get those big muscles working, little oxygen in them, all the good stuff. Now, for those of you that didn't like the down dog on the lower level, you can also place your hands on the chair top and take what we call a flat back. You're just going to stretch. So my hands are completely neutral, my wrists are flat, and I just stretch back into my hips, feeling this beautiful stretch down my hamstrings, maybe some in my back, still pulling my tummy in, might even feel it all the way down into my calves, okay? So just this really beautiful stretch down the backs of the legs, let the head go heavy, no strain, no stress, and then as always, kind of walk back into your chair. Give everything a little shake. I like some hip rolls. I call it hula hooping, just to sort of reset the hips and the spine from some of the work we were doing. So you just roll those hips around the axis, right? Maybe 2 or 3 in each direction. Kind of tells you where things still feel a little tight or where you might need a little bit more work. So you guys, I like to keep these videos right around the right around the 20-minute mark. So I'm not going to do that much more today. I'll love the feedback. Let me know if this works for you as far as working on an injury, rehabbing, and just a way to bring yoga back in to your life, stretching and movement without having to get up and down off the floor. You can just use the chair. The next video, I'll advance it a little bit. I'll bring in a few more things. I'll talk to my auntie and make sure that this was successful, and then we'll go from there. You guys, happy 2022, happy New Year. Everybody stay safe and healthy out there. Love you from Central Florida. Talk soon.